Hello listeners, this is 107.8 Puduvai Vaani, the community radio station of Pondicherry University. This program is Just Relax. Stress and tension is an universal disease in today's world. If we see, we won't find anyone without stress. This is one of the most ridiculous diseases in today's world, and managing this stress is a huge task. It's not so easy to do this, but Dr. Vivek Sharma is here with us with some beautiful ideas and tips to manage the stress. Let's listen to him.
In the last program on the topic how to beat stress by personality development, we discussed what is stress, what is the physiology of stress, what is eustress and what is distress. We tried to differentiate between the two types of stress. We know eustress is something which is good amount of stress which motivates us to perform better. And distress is something the expectations are more and we are not able to cope up with the stress. Then in the following part, we discussed about what is the importance of development of the correct attitude for the correct personality or good personality. And we concluded it by understanding the law for making a good personality is identifying our purpose of life. That is, purposeful life is the purpose of life. So continuing with the attitude, there is a saying, if it is important, you will find a way, and if not, you will find an excuse. To have more, we first must become more is the very essence of the philosophy of personal development, success and happiness. It is very important that first we develop ourselves, then only we expect more of the success and happiness in the life. As an example, we know that the highest skyscraper in the world is in Dubai, which is nearly 1 kilometer or exactly to be 892 meters. Let us compare it with a normal house. A normal typical house weighs only 50 to 70 tons and is only 20 to 25 feet high. Whereas this Burj Khalifa, the skyscraper, weighs more than 500,000 tons and foundation reaches down to 160 feet and that itself weighs in excess of more than 1 lakh tons. So that we can imagine that so much of it is buried inside the ground, then only it is able to stand outside the ground at a height of nearly 900 meters. Just like a great building stands on a strong foundation, so does foundation of success is attitude. Let us compare the attitude of three people by this example. Three people were laying bricks and a passerby asked them what they were doing. The first one replied, "Don't you see, I am making a living?" The second one said, "Don't you see, I am laying bricks?" The third one said, "I am building a beautiful moment." Three people doing the same thing gave totally different replies. The question is, did they have different attitudes? And would their attitude affect their performance? The answer is a clear yes. Therefore, the philosophy of life is you can have more than you have got because you can become more than you are. It is within our own capabilities to raise our standards to become more. Then there is no way that anybody can stop us from becoming more developed, more successful and more happy. These words and the thoughts convey a very unique power. Now, question comes, what shapes our attitudes and what is our personal philosophy of life which is shaped by attitude? See, the attitude is something which we are carrying right from the childhood. Are we born with attitudes or we develop them as we mature? The answer is we got it right from the childhood times. What are the factors that form our attitudes? If you have a negative outlook on life because of your environment, can you change your attitude? Most of our attitude is shaped during our formative years, during our childhood, during our adolescent period, when we were growing and learned to develop attitude from these three factors. Number 1, environment. Number 2, the experience. Number 3, the education. By environment, we mean the social environment to which we are exposed at home, in the school, with our peers, with our colleagues and our friends, they all socio-political situations constituted the environment, and out of that we conferred our meanings out of it, and that had a very important impact on our attitudes. Usually the environment outside is negative. We people give negative suggestions to each other. Usually people talk negative about each other, and therefore it also has a negative impact on our attitude. Next is experience. Many times we fail in our lives and then we gain some experience, and other times we succeed in our life. That also contributes to the experience. So how we shape up these things, how we look at these experiences in our lives are also a very important aspect of attitude. And third very important aspect is education. Education is something which should ideally give us knowledge of the world. But education nowadays means only education is degrees. More and more degrees we are acquiring and growing in the world. But anyways, the education has a very important impact. If we actually study properly, if we are educated, then obviously it has a very important positive impact on our attitudes. So environment, experience, education, these three triple E's can be considered as the main factors deciding our attitude. Every place, be it a home, any organization or a country, it has an environment which gives rise to the culture. Have you noticed that sometimes you go to a store and you find the salesperson polite, the supervisor, the manager and owner polite as well? Yet you go to another shop and you find everyone rude and discourteous. You go to a home and you find the kids and the parents well behaved, courteous and considerate. You go to another home where everyone is fighting like cats and dogs. So what is the difference? Difference is that these three triple E's have decided the culture of that particular place. In countries where the government and political environment is honest, generally you will find that the people are honest, law-abiding and helpful. And the reverse is true too. In a corrupt environment, an honest person has a tough time. Whereas in an honest environment, the corrupt one has a tough time. The importance is that if we are able to create a positive environment, whether it is at home, whether it is in educational institutes, or whether it is by mingling with the correct types of friends, even a marginal performer's output goes up. Even if we are not so good, the environment motivates us and it makes us to do more and more. Whereas in a negative environment, a good performer's output goes down. Now, how to change this attitude? How we can decide to go up? As we have discussed earlier, it is our attitude which is going to decide the altitude in the life. We are actually provided by a genius organ in the body, that is brain. God has given this gift to us and it is having amazing capacities. The brain of human being processes more than 100 million bits of information per hour, faster than any supercomputer developed till date. No computer can recognize and react as deeply as any human being can to any of the emotions. All our actions and reactions are actually guided by our emotions. In the long term, same emotions guide our behavior and reactions to our own self and to others. But the problem is, in spite of all this processing power, we don't use it properly. And one another gift is we can focus on only one thought at a time that is always chosen by us. If we keep on strengthening this thought which is positive in nature, it will automatically lead to the better attitudes. So let us now share a few steps which can help us in building a positive attitude. During childhood, we form attitudes that last a lifetime. Undoubtedly, it would be a lot easier and better to have acquired a positive attitude during our formative years. But now that is gone. Now we cannot go back in our lives. Does that mean if we acquire a negative attitude, whether by design or by default, we are stuck with it? No, of course not. Can we change this attitude? Whatever we are having, whether it is positive but we want to become more positive, or it is a negative attitude? Yes. Is it very easy to do it? Absolutely not. Nothing is easy in this world. Whatever we have to do, we will have to come out of our comfort zone and apply ourselves. So how do you build and maintain a positive attitude? become aware of the principles that build a positive attitude. We should have the desire to remain positive throughout the time, and we have to develop the self-discipline, and we have to dedicate ourselves to practice those principles which we are going to listen now. So, one of the laws which I really liked in the life is understand the law of cause and effect. Everybody knows about it. If there is any cause, then only an effect can be produced. Whatever we do in this world, it is surely going to produce the effect, whether it is today, tomorrow, or later. So, first step to develop the positive attitudes is that let us accept responsibility for everything that has happened to us till now in this life. That means whatever, without any presumptions that this I will accept, that I will not accept. Accept in totality everything that has happened to you till now in this life. It will be the starting point of change. We blame everyone and everything for our present situation, and that attitude is actually holding us back. Now it is up to us to choose our attitude. As adults, we need to accept responsibility for our behavior and actions. It is actually good for us. If we don't accept, then we don't move forward. If we don't accept the responsibility, we always remain kids. It is so because people with negative attitudes will blame the whole world, their parents, teachers, spouse, the economy, and the government for their failures. In that way, they will never take up the responsibility. And then when we are not feeling responsible for ourselves, definitely we will not take corrective actions. You have to get away from the past. Dust yourself off, get back into the mainstream, put your ambitions together and move forward. Thinking of the positive things that are true, honest and good will put us in a positive state of mind. This is all said by a great motivator with the name Shiv Khera. Now even Shri Krishna talks in Shri Bhagavad Gita about the law of cause and effect and says, whatever bhoga of samskaras we are undergoing, it is the result of our past thoughts, actions and deeds. Once you accept that you are only responsible for everything, whatever has happened in your life, it is the time to take corrective measures and actions. First step is you excuse yourself. You excuse yourself and all other people, circumstances, situations whom you think are letting you feel down. So if we excuse ourselves, we take up the responsibility, but we excuse, okay, whatever has happened, and don't keep grudges with yourself or with anyone. It will motivate you, it will make you lighter, and then you can start looking forward. The other step number 2 can be change your focus. Look for the positive in every situation. The thing is, we have to become good finders. In every situation, we always have a choice whether to look for the good things or the bad things. If we want to grow higher in the life, we need to focus on the positives in life. Let us start looking for what is right in a person or in any situation instead of looking for what is wrong. Because of our conditioning, we are so attuned to finding fault and looking for what is wrong that we forget to see the positive picture, and we become the fault finders. Even if paradise people go, then it is sure that the fault finders will find faults. Now most people find what they are looking for. That is the secret. If we are looking for faults in others, surely we find that every person is having so many faults. If we are looking for brighter side of the life, then surely we will see the better personality in each and every human being. And when we appreciate that, we also become like that. If people are looking for friendship, they are looking for happiness and the positivity. That is what they get also. If they are looking for fights or indifference or the negativity, then this is what they get. So it is important for us to find that we are going to look for positivity in every situation. It is a very, very basic character of the attitude, that we always will focus only on the brighter side of the life. Whatever the situation, whatever the thing, God has given that situation to us only to make us better, only to make us brighter, and only to test us so that we can evolve to the better heights. So this, as can be explained by this simple example, that how a person with the name of Andrew Carnegie, whom we know is a person who has written many beautiful books. What happened to him? This goes with the story name Looking for the Gold. As a young Scots boy, Andrew Carnegie came to America and started doing odd jobs. He did not have any financial backups, and later on he ended up as one of the largest steel manufacturers in the United States. At one time he had 43 millionaires working for him. Imagine today also millionaires means so much, and imagine what millionaires would be around 50 years back. So several decades ago, $1 million used to be a lot of money, much more than what it is today, in spite of the fact that today also millionaire means a lot. Someone asked Mr. Carnegie how he dealt with the people. So many people are there, they are having big egos, they all think that they are big. How he is able to control them all? Andrew Carnegie replied, dealing with people is like digging gold. When you go digging for an ounce of gold, you have to move tons of dirt to get an ounce of gold. That means to get very little out of the people, it is extremely important that we keep digging inside and only focus only on the gold in the person. You don't go looking for the dirt, you go looking for the gold. So what is your focus? Are you looking for the gold or you are looking for the dirt in any person? That is the choice, that is the attitude that we need to carry. Become a digger for the gold. If you are looking for what is wrong with people or with things, you will find many. What are you looking for? Andrew Carnegie's reply has a very important message. There is something positive in every person and every situation. Only thing is how we look into that situation, how we look up to ourselves to find good things in that situation. Sometimes we have to dig deep to look for the positive because it may not be apparent. But it is there. That belief should always be there. That belief should never leave us. That there is something good in every situation, and that is why the people who are in the darkest of the situations, then they are able to come out because they always have a strong belief that there is something beyond this darkness, and that is why they come out of. And the other people only see the darkness around and they cannot see anything beyond it, and they give up. Besides, we are so used to looking for what is wrong with other people and situations, we forget to see what is right. Someone said that even a stop clock is right twice a day. Remember, when you go looking for gold, you have to move tons of dirt to get an ounce of gold. But when you go looking, you don't go looking for the dirt, you go looking for the gold. So to start with, let us start digging deep inside us and look for the gold that is hidden within us, and then try to see the reflection of the same gold in others. So do not worry about criticism from the negative people and try to avoid their company as much as possible. Some people are always criticizing others, no matter what is the situation. They are having PhD in criticizing others. They are career critics. They criticize as if they will win a prize at a contest. So they will find fault with every person and every situation. You will find with these type of people everywhere, in every home, family, office. They go around finding fault and telling everybody how bad things are and blaming the whole world for their problems. So they can be called as energy suckers. So they will go to the cafeteria and they will drink lots of tea, coffee, and then smoke, and then they will say they are trying to relax. Now actually we know that when a person is smoking or when a person is talking negative, his sympathetic nervous system becomes more excited and he is actually becomes more stimulated, and that leads to more and more of the pressure on himself that he will transmit to others. They spread negative messages like a plague and create an environment conducive to negative results. Robert Fulton invented the steamboat. On the banks of Hudson River, he was displaying his new invention. The pessimists and the skeptics gathered around to observe. Many of them commented that this boat will never start. And then, when the boat went down the river, the pessimists who were saying that no, it would not start, saw it working and going in the river. They started shouting, "Oh, it has started, but how will you stop it? It would never stop." See the attitude. So if at all we try to see ourselves, we dig deep inside ourselves and try to find whether we have any attitude of negative. If you find genuinely it is inside yourself, remove it immediately. So as Shiv Khera says, who is an optimist? He describes it by the following words. Be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind, no situation. Talk health, happiness and prosperity to every person you meet. Make all your friends feel there is something in them. Look at the sunny side of everything. Think only of the best, work only for the best, and expect only the best. Be as enthusiastic about the success of others as you are about your own. Forget the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future. We have to forget our own mistakes also. Then only we can look forward in the future. Give everyone a smile. Let us have a smiling face wherever we go. Let us spread the smile. And let us be always beaming with confidence and with a lot of smile and happiness everywhere. Spend so much time improving yourself that you have no time left to criticize others. This is what precisely Kabir said. Kabir said that when I go out looking for the faults of others, then suddenly I find that myself a mine of so much of dirt that I cannot look anywhere else. So we need to improve. We need to spend more time introspection and looking the faults in ourselves and correcting them. Not only looking and also correcting them. Then surely we will have no time left to criticize others. Be too big for a worry and too noble for anger. Let us always keep the worry under our control. Whenever any worrying situation is there, always think, I am too big for this worry. Surely I can handle this situation. And too noble for anger. We should try to be as noble as possible anger. With anger, nobody has ever achieved anything in this world. Now, after this step of thinking only positive things, make a habit of doing everything now. As Benjamin Franklin very clearly says, never leave till tomorrow which you can do today. This is a very, very important aspect of our attitude. Successful people make a habit of doing what unsuccessful people do not like to do now. Successful people may also don't like to do the same things, but they have compelled themselves to do the things which they know that it is going to be good. Unsuccessful people, they respond to circumstances and they have the habit of remaining in their comfortable zone. For example, everybody knows the importance of regular exercising, but only very few understand the importance of doing this exercise now, today, every day. Others see the importance of exercises in the books. They listen to various events where marathons are occurring and where other sports events are being organized. They listen to it, think over it, and they again go back in front of the TV or on the internet and they watch all the sports events. They know the statistics of all the sports person. With a bowl of French fries or other junk items, they enjoy the sports events and keep lazing around every day. So, successful and unsuccessful people both have the knowledge, but it is the habit of doing it now, today, that makes a positive attitude. Today, one of the commonest causes of lifestyle disorders like coronary artery disease, diabetes, hypertension, and various stress disorders is actually physical inactivity, and that is purely in our own hands. Howsoever busy we are in any life schedule, we can always take 20 to 30 minutes out to move our body. Our body was designed in such a way that to move and mind to rest. But what we are doing nowadays, we are resting our body and we are moving our mind. Our mind is restless. It keeps moving everywhere. Whereas the body remains seated at one place, and this physical inactivity leads to a lot of stress. As I am following in this example, nobody likes to sweat out early in the morning or would not like to go to the gym or to the parks late after finishing office routine. But these routine exercises, they do so because they realize the importance of being trim, healthy physically and mentally and looking good. We have all procrastinated, postponed at some time in our lives. I know I have, and later on I regretted it like anything. So this procrastination or putting the things off leads to a tremendously negative attitude. So the habit of procrastination fatigues you more than the effort it takes to do it. Because in the mind's eye, at our subconscious level, we know that something is pending. So even if we are not doing it, it is tiring us, it is creating stress on us. A completed task is fulfilling and energizing. An incomplete task drains energy like a leak from the tank. So we need to focus more and more on finishing our tasks and making a habit of doing everything now. If you want to build and maintain a positive attitude, get into the habit of living in the present and doing the things now. As James Elberry said, he slept beneath the moon, he basked beneath the sun, he lived a life of going to do and died with nothing done. So there are situations in which we can do, we can contribute, it is in our hands, and sometimes we procrastinate, and then that attitude of procrastination hurts us a lot. And this another interesting part of this attitude of in this context of doing it now is we usually give excuses to ourselves. For example, I will do all the things only when I become a big boy or when I become big, rich, powerful. So the story is like this only, that every person who thinks in this way, he will say, I will do this and then I'll be happy. And when he becomes big, he says, when I finish college and do this and this, then I'll be happy. And when he finishes college, he says, when I get my first job and do this and this, I'll be happy. And when he gets his first job, what he says? He says that when I get married and do this and this, then I will be happy. And when he gets married, he says, when the kids get out of the school and I do this and this, I'll be happy. And when the kids get out of the school, he says, when I retire and do this and this, I'll be happy. And when he retires, what does he see? He sees life has just gone by in front of his eyes in the flash of the moment. So this habit that I will do only when I become absolutely confident, only when I have the expertise over the job, when I can do everything as I plan to do it, then we will never do that thing. So we have to start the things now only. Some people practice procrastination or putting it off by hiding behind high sounding words like I'll analyze it for next 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. And you find them after 2 years, you meet them after 2 years, they still are suffering from the disease called paralysis of analysis, and they will never succeed. So we need not look about that we keep on only analyzing. Make a strong core, study, and then straight away start getting into action. Nobody has learned swimming only by standing at the edge of the swimming pool. We have to get into it to learn. Nobody can be perfect and then get into the pool to learn the swimming. Then there are other people who say, I am getting ready. And they keep getting ready for 6 months, for 1 year or 2 years, suffering from the disease called as excusitis. So they keep making excuses because they are not interested in doing anything. So they keep making excuses, and these excuses make them suffer a lot, but they don't realize it. So it is important to develop a strong positive attitude, to understand the law of cause and effect, take up all the responsibilities in the life, don't leave it to others, blame only yourself, not anyone else, and then be ready after excusing yourself and everyone to start the new things. And step 2, change your focus to look for the positive in every situation and making a habit of doing it now rather than doing it later. That's it for today. Thank you very much.
Hello listeners, I hope all of you are really happy and satisfied with Dr. Vivek Sharma's guidelines. Follow this in your life and for sure you'll achieve your goal in your life.